So hi everyone, and thank you very much for watching or listening. Today I have a very special guest on this show, legendary professional boxer Tyrone Brunson, known as the Young Gun, who previously held the record for more 19 first round knockouts over the space of 6 years. This guy knows how to knock people out cold. Many of his career finishes have come early, mostly in the first round, but also in the second and third rounds as well. Tyrone has shared a ring with some absolutely incredible talent, including Tony Harrison, Dennis Hogan, Caleb Plant, Carson Jones, Kermit and quite a few others, and has won the UBF International Super Welterweight Championship, the USA Pennsylvania State Welterweight Championship, and also challenged for the NBA Super Welterweight title as well, plus the Mid-American Middleweight title. So he's been very busy, absolute stone cold killer in the ring, but a great guy outside of the ring. And today we're going to be having a chat about his incredible career: 28 wins, 8 losses, 2 draws, amateur record of more than 90 fights as well. So we've got a lot to talk about. Tyrone's fastest KO, I believe, was 17 seconds, but he's also had 18-second knockouts, 30-second knockouts. This guy knows how to smoke people fast. Are you with family then? Are you with
Yeah,
family
yeah,
or?
yeah. My
Okay.
son graduate tomorrow. I'm going on to his graduation.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing. That's an amazing achievement, champ. You must be, very proud of him.
Yeah,
Very
yes,
proud
yes.
of him. Yeah, get into the questions. So the first place I want to start with the actual interview questions is obviously what you were saying when we got on the call just now. You've been out the ring for a little bit of time, and obviously
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah,
some of the
yeah.
fans have been wondering, where you've been and what you've been up to. So can you sort of share a little bit with us about what's been happening in your life and also how your life is right now in 2021?
I mean, since the pandemic had hit, a lot of gyms was closed down and everything was like slow motion and it was like stopped. So I had to figure out how was I going to make money besides boxing while boxing was on hold. But everybody know that I got real estate. I do real estate. That's my main thing after boxing. But I mean, I've been in and out, in and out, in and out the gym. But coming, like I said, July, February, we're gonna be back in the ring full force, ready to go again. It's time for me to get my spot back and just do it. I mean, this right here is my last run, so I'm calling it the last dance.
Okay, the last dance. I like that. I
The
like
last
that.
dance, yeah.
Yeah.
This the last dance for me.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, obviously, we're going to have a little look back over your career as well, because today we talk about the future, but we'll talk about the past as well. Okay, champ. So I want to
Yes,
go
sir.
all the way back to actually your amateur career, real quick.
Career.
Yeah. So your amateur career, and just to give that a real quick mention, because people, usually overlook that. Before we get to your professional career, with your amateur career, what was your proudest moment of your amateur career? Is there any particular fights that stand out? I just want to give this one a real quick mention because people usually overlook it.
Uh, any standout right there? Any standout points from the amateurs? I guess like I've been to the nationals plenty of times. I was ranked number 3 in the country. Uh, I was around with like Andre Berto, Andre Durrell, Juan McPherson, Anthony Thompson. Uh, me probably my highlight of my amateur career was me getting bronze in the POW when I was 15 years old, but I was fighting open at 15, so I was competing with the grown men,
Mm,
and like I had a lot about my age, and I had to fight with the grown men, and I did great.
incredible. Okay. Now, another thing here to touch on, champ, is obviously, your knockout power. I mean, you held the record over 6 years, consecutive first round knockouts. You broke Edwin Valero's record as well, consecutive first round knockouts and everything like that. So I want to talk about your punching power because is that something that you always had, or is there specific training techniques that you use to develop, the power that it takes to knock people out cold in, 17 seconds, 18 seconds, 30 seconds? All these quick knockouts that you've had. Can you talk us through your training regime, for that level of power, please?
Uh, I don't think I don't think you can. I mean, you can build power, but I think I was just naturally blessed with power.
Mhm. Okay. And the other thing with that though, I mean, with some of the knockouts being as fast as what they were, 17 seconds, 18 seconds, and things like that. I mean, how does it feel for a fight to be over that quick from your point of view? Because with a fight, there's usually a lot of build up and there's all these these types of things in the training. But a lot of your fights, they were over pretty fast. I mean, do you enjoy getting the guys out there that quick, or was it
I
more
mean,
was it an anticlimax, if you get what I mean? Was it a good feeling?
yes, it was a great feeling, but shoot, I don't get paid for overtime. So if I can knock you out in the first round, that means I don't have to go 8 rounds, 10 rounds.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't get paid for overtime. I mean, and plus, like the less wear and tear on my body, that's the best thing. That's what I worry about more. That
yeah.
wear and tear.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Jam, could you put the phone so I can see you a bit better though? Just but yeah, there we go. There we go.
All right,
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I mean, just even if it's to the side or something, just so I can see you. But yeah, so all right. So when you broke Edwin Valero's record, I mean, the late great legend of boxing that he is, things like that, of consecutive first round knockouts. How did you feel, when you broke that record? Because you made a bit of history there. I mean, you broke multiple records. I know there was another guy, first
yeah,
round knockouts, whose record you beat. But
yeah.
what goes through your mind when you sort of reach a milestone like that, when you get an achievement like that, if you get what I
I'm,
mean?
I'm gonna be real honest with you. Once I broke that record and was in the record books and everything, like it really like it was. I was. It was just like another day for me. Like I wasn't excited or happy or I'm saying I was. It was what it was. I mean
Yeah.
because I mean like shoot, it ain't make me a millionaire. I mean it
Yeah,
just I'm just I'm just happy to be a part of history. That's all. That's all. I mean because it's gonna be 100,000 million kids after me that's gonna come up and hopefully one of them can break it. I mean, hopefully they can do. I mean, better than what I done.
sure. Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Okay, it's still an amazing achievement, though. Incredible
Oh yeah,
achievement.
yeah, yeah. I'm saying, but yeah, it's just another day, man.
Another
It's
day at
just
the office.
that's all, man.
Yeah, yeah. I get where you're coming from. I honestly, I get where you're coming from. And you believe in yourself. You have that self-belief. So, that's another thing. So, all right then. Now, I got to address something here. We'll get to some big fights now in a minute because there's a few big fights I want to talk about. But I want to just touch on something here. I hope you don't mind me touching on this. But over the time, man, you've had some naysayers and some critics, saying that you're knocking over these guys and things like that. And I don't think that's always the case. I mean, I think there's a few guys, maybe it's the case, but not always the case. What would you say to the people who, doubted you in your career and you still come out on top, you still won titles, and you
yeah,
still had
yeah.
legendary careers? What would you say to them?
Hold it. Shoot. Uh, a lot of people had doubted and they criticized me in the beginning because they said, "Oh, he knocking this guy out. He knocking this guy out, and he can't go to rounds. Can he really fight?" Like I got crucified. You know what I'm saying, but I already knew, and people that really knew me knew that I can really fight. You know what I'm saying, so once you know what I'm saying that record was all over, and I started putting me in there, people start saying, "Oh, this guy can fight. He can
Yeah.
fight." You know what I'm saying, so that's all that was. But I mean, I don't really care about the crit. I didn't really. Well, at first I did care about it. I was trying to check everybody, but then after a while, I didn't really care about it no more. Like, say what you want to say.
Mhm. Makes sense. Yeah, it makes it's a good attitude to have, man. I mean, they're not in the ring with you, so it makes sense. All right, so a couple of key fights. I mean, because in a minute I want to get back to the future and talk a little bit about your training, sparring. But before we get to all that, I want to just touch on a couple of the legendary fights that you've had. So I've just picked a couple. I mean, you've had too many for us to talk about them all,
I know,
but I've
man.
just picked a couple. So Dennis Hogan, I'm going to start with.
That's
Just
the
he's as good
whole
as any to
thing.
start with. Irish Australian, great fighter.
Dennis, yeah.
And you had a great fight with him. I
I
thought,
mean, if you watch that fight, I boxed Dennis Hogan's brains out, ran circles around him. I mean, but coming in as an opponent, and at the time I didn't have a promoter or nothing behind me, so so I had to go in there and really like knock him out just to get a win. But everybody know, I mean, if my name on it, I'm coming to fight. I'm saying win, lose, or draw, I'm coming to fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
But people know the people know Dennis didn't beat me, and that's why if he would have won the WBA title or WBO title, he just 4-4. He told me we can talk next because he know in his heart that he ain't beat me. So if he'd won the title, he said I was next in line to fighting for it.
Great news, champ. Well, fans watching this, keep an eye out because that will be a great rematch. When that happens. All right. So another one here is Caleb Plant as well. Obviously, world champion now, and he's doing some great things. It's another fantastic fight for the fans. And the reason I'm asking these champs is to show what the fans don't see. You know what I mean? Because the fans see the fight, but they don't always see the behind the scenes, the lead up to it, the management, the sparring, all this stuff. So anything you'd like to share on that one on Caleb Plant? Another fantastic fight. What are your reflections on that? However many years later.
My reflection on the Caleb Plant fight was I was already in camp training, and I was in Puerto Rico training, and nobody wanted to fight Caleb. So I got the call, and they said, "Do you want to move up the weight?" I said, "I don't care how much they paying, whatever." So I went over there and did it. Like I don't really duck too many fights. If you can see on my record, I don't really be ducking nobody fights. So with the Caleb, I mean, if you look back at the Caleb fight, I exposed Caleb. I'm the one giving him the most work. I'm the one made him change his style up and fight into the fighter that he is today. Because everybody thought it was gonna be a sweet fight, and I gave him the best work of his career. If you look at after he fought me and how he fighting now, come on, man, it's a whole different Caleb. That's my man though. But I mean, I gave him that work.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You put him under a lot of pressure in that fight. You had to dig deep and really find, what he's really made of, which I think you've done to a few guys, to be honest.
And he was way bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to factor that in. So another one here, real quick, and this is a great one, a great win, but obviously your win over the legend Kermit Cintron. I mean, absolutely. When you beat Kermit, man, I remember just being over the moon. I mean, it was a great fight always round. But what are your reflections on that? And the reason I'm not asking specifics about the fights, I mean, you were the one who was there, not me. So you have memories about it that the fans maybe don't know, or maybe they haven't heard before. So anything you'd like to say about that one, about Kermit, because that was a fantastic win. That was really something special.
That was a great win for me. Just to have a two-time former world champion on my resume. In the process during that training camp, it was hard. Like I had to get into a different zone because I knew who I was fighting, and I knew Kermit was a knockout artist too. I mean, and I think whenever whenever he was getting ready for the second title shot, IBF, I was in camp with him helping him, and I felt that power with the 16. So the whole time, I mean, I'm fighting. I'm like, oh, the whole time I'm training, I'm saying, I know I got to get ready. I got to be on my A game, and I mean, because he coming to fight. And fight time came. It was a great fight, the best 5 rounds in boxing. It should have been on Showtime or PBC.
Yeah.
That's how good the fight was. He knocked me down. He knocked me down in the 4th round twice. I come back out in the 5th round, knock him down twice, and stop him. I mean, and it was just a crazy fight, man. And if it had got picked up by TV, it'd been bigger. It would have been so big.
Yeah,
but
100%. But
he was coming in thinking he was going to blow me out, and because he was trying to build his name back up. He was trying to come back.
You've bounced back from tough defeats, and some fighters would have given up, with some of the things. I just want to touch on a Tony Harrison fight, because you bounced back from a fight that didn't go too well, and you came and went again, and you got some big wins,
right.
Great wins after that, including winning obviously the Pennsylvania state title.
I'm gonna be honest. With the Tony fight, like I probably didn't even. I was thinking about retiring when I fought Tony. Yeah. Like I wouldn't have got that money. I'm
Yeah,
saying, and I thought I was gonna be done
it makes
with
sense. Yeah.
boxing. I'm saying, and like that's my guy. And I was out Kent with him when he fought Charlo, the second fight.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but yeah, I ain't probably even trained for that fight.
That makes sense. It does make sense, yeah. But again, you bounce back, and obviously you got some biggest wins, and this is the thing that I want to talk about now. Is in your career. I know I said about proudest moments with the amateurs earlier, but in your career, your professional career now, which fight are you most proud of personally? Maybe it's when you beat Kermit and you won the Pennsylvania State. Maybe it's another one. I don't know. I mean, in your own words, what are you most proud of in your career? Maybe one or two things, one or two fights, something like
Uh,
that.
uh, I'm probably proud of like me being the Pennsylvania State champion, beating Kermit Centron, beating Brandon Quarles. That was one of my toughest fights.
Yeah.
That's one of my toughest fights, and to this day, like that fight was harder than Kermit Centron.
Yeah. Okay.
And just like being having two world champions on my resume. I mean, shoot. Then being on the contender,
Yeah.
lost to Brandon Adams, to came back and beat Devon Lee. So I got a lot to be proud about, man. I mean, it takes a lot of courage and heart to get into that ring, and some people won't do it. Some
Yeah.
people, and there was a time in my career where I was like, man, what's happening? I mean, what's next? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, should I retire? Should I? But then I got my mind right, got my team together, and turned it around.
Yeah. Amazing. So, a couple of other things just to touch on here. When you're going into a fight, I mean, you're right because you just said it's a brave man's game. You've got to have courage, you've got to have strength, and that warrior mentality. How do you mentally prepare for a fight? Because people always talk about the physical, and that's super important. But on the run up to a fight, what's going through your mind, before you're ready to get in there and go to war? If you get what I mean, like on the build up.
I mean, what's nothing? I mean, I just kind of be like, I just kind of be relaxed and just I mean, I'm just relaxed, man. Like I'm from a city where it's kill or be killed, so I don't be worrying too much about anything, man. I mean, he got a job to do, I got a job to do. He trying to hurt me, I'm trying to hurt him. You know what I'm saying? It made the best man win. I mean, but I don't really be, I don't get nervous or nothing. Like in the beginning of my career, yeah, I be nervous as hell when that bell ring. But as I got older and I matured and I started fighting, I don't get nervous anymore. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Okay. Hold on, you froze up. Yeah, I got you back. You're back. Yeah, I hear you on that. With the experience and with many of the tough tests that you've had, the nerves they sort of melt away. I feel you on that. Okay. So the other thing, Tony, a couple more things. I want to talk real quick about sparring. Maybe some of the most memorable spars that you've had. Maybe some different champs you've been in there with, or anything of that nature.
Oh man, I had a lot of sparring stories. I was 17. I was in training camp with Robert Allen. He was about to fight Bernard Hopkins the second time. I've been in camp with Kasim Uma, Kermit Centron. Uh, who I've been in camp with? Been so many. I've been in camp so many. I've been in this game for over 25 years, and since '95.
Yeah.
Man, who I've been in camp with? Tony Harrison. It's so many. I can't think right now.
So many guys, yeah. We've been in there with some legends though, and I just wanted to highlight that because again people don't always realize unless they're in the game, the fans don't always realize some of the legends that you've been in there with.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
oh
good.
yeah, oh
It's
yeah,
good
oh yeah.
to
I come from a gym though of David Reed, Zaire Rahim. David Reed was was 1996 gold medalist Olympian. Zaire Rahim was the 1996 Olympian on the same team as Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Coffin, Yeah, but
Yeah,
though David Reed and Zaire came from my gym. I mean, so
amazing.
yeah, I come from a gym of world champions. Choo Choo Charlie Brown. He was the first IBF champion when they first made the IBF title. He won it. He from my gym. Uh, yeah, Rocket Rodney Moore. I mean, Philadelphia breed the best fighters, the best middleweights.
Yeah.
Charles Brewer, uh, Cyclone Hart, Willie Monroe. What's my man name that I win awards? What's his name? No, I win awards. Briscoe, yeah, Briscoe awards, but it's not Billy.
Oh, Benny
Briscoe,
Briscoe.
Benny,
Benny.
Briscoe, yeah, Benny
Yeah.
Briscoe. I mean, shoot, man, we got a legendary city, man.
Oh, yes.
Billy Briscoe, yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Philly's a real deal, man. Philadelphia's a real deal. Some of the best fighters in history coming out of there, and obviously, you're cut from the same cloth, so that's a good thing to give a mention to as well, 100%.
I'm,
So
I'm, I'm proud to be a part of it, and when my career is finally over, I will go in the Hall of Fame.
yeah, absolutely, and you really earned a place there, 110%. So the last couple of things I got is Well, we've been over proudest moments, toughest fights. I mean, we touched on that earlier, and I know toughest fights is something that's thrown around a lot. But you've had a lot of tough fights in your career, and obviously you've been a tough fight for many other guys. You've been a tough fight for a lot of guys. But in terms of your toughest fight, where you had to dig deep, and the one that was really real war, where you really felt this is tough. Is any that come to mind for that for toughest fights?
I told you, Brandon Quarles.
Yeah, Brandon. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it might be. I always
I
check.
tell you that all the time. I tell Brandon that all the time. Yo, you was my toughest fight because that night I had to bring the best out of me. I had to just transform into a whole different person.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last couple of things then is obviously looking to the future. I mean, this is your final run, and we were talking about the last dance earlier,
The
and
last
I
dance,
love
baby.
that. So,
The
what are
last
your
dance, like Michael
goals?
Jordan.
Go on. Yeah, your goals this time around, champ. I mean, you're going to be. So you said you hopefully got a fight coming up real soon. But in
Yeah,
terms of the bigger picture over the next couple of years, what are you aiming for? I mean, what's really driving you, motivating you now to
what's
achieve?
what's driving me? What's driving me, man. The IBF, the WBC, the
There we
WBO.
go. There we
I
go.
mean, I want to become world champion. That's my main goal. I dedicated my whole life to this game. I mean, so I'd be cool just winning the world title, defending a couple times, and riding off in the sunset.
Okay, sounds like a plan. So the last couple of things is I want to ask a real quick one here because you've been in your career, you've done it all. You've been all over the place. You've fought the best. You've had all these knockouts. What advice would you give to young fighters now? So like any words of advice for the young guns. I know that's your name, but for the young guys coming up now, what would you say to them? Like any words of wisdom for them?
Uh, what I say to any young kids that's coming up now, I will let the young kids know if they're really gonna make a career out of boxing, they have to dedicate their life to it. They have to make sure that their business is straight because if your business is not straight, these managers and promoters will eat you up, and they will try to use you. So just make sure your business is straight and it's like.
Great advice. Great advice. And so we've touched on that. We've touched upon future plans. To be honest, champ, I mean, I think that's everything. The only other thing I'm going to say is not really a question, but is there anything you'd like to say to your supporters? Because we touched upon the critics earlier, but you've also had a lot of support in your career and a lot of love from the fans all over the world. Over here in the UK and obviously in the States and other places. What would you say?
I ain't really been here. I ain't really. I just want to thank everybody that's been rocking with Team Brunson, Young Gun since day one. The haters, the criticizers, everybody. I want to thank everybody, and I just want to let them know that we will be back soon. We'll be back soon, and we're back on the world title tour, and we're going to get the world title. And like I said, thank everybody. Thank all my UK fans too. I gotta come over there. Even if I'm fighting or if I'm coming on vacation to bring the family over.
Amazing. Well, you know, we'd love to have you over here, champ. We would love that. But honestly, I mean, we've covered a lot today. We've covered, you know, biggest fights, mentality, sparring, the future, the past. I mean, we've covered some good stuff. So all I want to do is I just want to say thank you for your time. Really appreciate you hopping on, obviously on the road as well, and in the middle of all types of stuff. So thank you for making the time. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And it's been a pleasure, champ. Thank you.
Thank you too, man. Salute you.
Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.